June 2011. I'm hiding at the local elementary school, the only place nearest here where he won't find me and also has a computer. It's been 5 days since my last encounter with him, and my house is gone, burnt to a crisp. The strange thing is, no one seems to notice. It's like it never happened, or worse, like the house never existed. But at least I'm safe here. Wait. I hear rustling. That's not good. Hey, I see Harold Kleiner, walking in the bushes. Wait a second. Why is there blood on his face? It might be that figure again. I'm gonna go see. June 28th, 2011. I bought a new house today. It's 2 stories tall and it's fireproof this time. One of my friends, Jim Forrester, actually remembered Happy Appy. He said that there were more episodes that I forgot. It turns out the most violent episodes were actually at the end. The entire series was supposed to have 25 episodes plus a TV movie. No one mentioned it because Jim had the only surviving tapes. The series got more violent slowly. He sent me a disc with fragments of Happy Appy episodes. Here's what they are. The first starts out with a school bell ringing. Happy Appy is standing next to a kid. The kid says that he can't understand math. The teacher said, "Class is dismissed." Then Happy Appy sings a math song. It's distorted, but I can make out these lyrics. 2 minus 1, then your homework is done. After that, the kid says, "Wow, thanks, Happy Appy." The next fragment was one of the more violent episodes. They were mixed clips, but here's what happened so far, in order. 3 kids were crying so loud it was almost painful to hear. Happy Appy and 2 other kids were trying to help the kids. The kids were crying because their families were gone. They died. The 2 kids comforted the 3 other kids, and the 3 kids left, but Happy Appy had this weird, perverted, nearing the borders of greediness expression. He said, "Come with me." The 3 kids followed Happy Appy into a building. He then left it with bags of money. The 3 kids were screaming for help again. There was more to be seen. There was one fragment of a somewhat violent episode. Happy was putting a bandage on a kid's arm. In the far corner of his pocket, a needle with green fluid was seen. Happy then put the needle into the kid, knocking him out. He then dragged him into his van, and a chainsaw was heard. The DVD just stopped. Oh, and you want to know more about that figure? First, it turns out he was here, so I got the hell out of there. Besides, I gave him a nickname, Forensic, which is better than just calling him the figure. When I saw him 17 days ago, he seemed to have a basketball. I don't mean like he had retractable claws in his fingers, I mean he had a basketball. I also got a good look at how he ran. He seems to be hunchbacked, which means he would be taller when he was standing up straight. I would say about 7 feet, although you can speculate that, because I don't have a picture of him. July 14th, 2011. Jim Forrester, a man who used to work on Happy Appy, just called me, telling me that Blair Mays, the man who voiced Happy Appy and a star on Fright House Screamers, need to research that sounds interesting, just died in his town. The body had 3 claw marks on his chest, with one of them puncturing his heart. I would have guessed Forensic would have done this, but Blair said that they were made by a being that would have had extremely sharp claws, because it managed to put a nice scratch on one of his ribs. July 15th, 2011. Jim just gave me a DVD with 3 new episodes, including what could be part 2 of the Happy Appy TV movie. Unfortunately, they're corrupt as shit, so they'll need to be cleaned. July 17th, 2011. I've got most of it working. Here's what happens. The first one was the episode I mentioned that had Happy Appy and the needle. It started out with what I said, and after Happy Appy chainsawed the kid, he then drove off and went to a crashed plane, where the second scene I mentioned happened, the one that has the 3 kids. After that, he was playing with some kids. Then, his skin peeled off, like an orange peeler was being used on him, revealing a rotten apple core. The skin then lands on a kid like a blanket. Then the show ended. The next one was the full classroom episode, with what I said happened, but with better video. After that, Happy goes into the science class, where a kid's playing with a Bunsen burner, but accidentally gets burned. Happy then puts an ice pack on the kid's burn, and the kid thanks him. Then Happy notices some kid getting bullied by an older kid. Happy told that kid not to give up, but then the kid runs into a classroom, probably to tell the teacher what happened. It then ended. Finally, I saw part 2 of the Happy movie. It started out with Happy driving his van on the road. Then a kid throws a big rock into the road, and I'm not talking about a small pebble, no, I'm talking about a big rock. Then Happy's van rolls over the rock, and the van crashes. And when I mean crash, I mean actual footage of a car crash type of crash. After that, some kids run over to the burning wreckage of Happy's van, where Happy is shouting, "Get me out!" When this happens, the happy-go-lucky music that plays normally is replaced by parts of Revolution 9, reversed. One of the kids says, "There! His hat! His hat!" And it cuts to Happy's bloody stem. It then screamed, which was loud enough to make someone's ears bleed. The mouth had some bloody teeth on it. Another kid then says, "His body! His body!" Happy's body was badly cut up, with big enough cuts to make blood pour out of it. His eyeball was dangling from his socket, while his teeth were shattered. His left arm was cut off, bone visible, with blood squirting out of the stump, while his legs were both broken. He tried to crawl out with his only non-broken decapitated arm. Finally, Happy died. He died to weird sci-fi noises. After that scene, it just showed the road with the mashed-up van next to his body. After that, it cut to the funeral, where kids were actually crying over Happy's dead body. One kid said, "Why, Happy? Why?" The final shot before the credits was the dead Happy, with blood on his broken teeth. Instead of the theme song playing, a dark carnival-like music played, with pieces of the Reverse Revolution 9 and Napoleon XIVs. "They're coming to take me away, ha-ha!" A narrator said, "His stomach wasn't 2 that day. There was 2. There's none now. He's there. He's getting next to his sister with all he knows." And finally, he ceased to work in the underworld. Guess what the narrator was talking over? Happy Appy, with a bloodied scalpel in one hand and a bloodied ex-acto in his other hand. It slowly panned to the skin of the disguise Happy was wearing, like the magic trick episode, but it just stopped. July 24th, 2011. It's been 7 days since I watched part 2 of that TV movie. I still can't get that photorealistic body of Happy Appy out of my head. Well, guess what? Someone claimed to have watched the first part, so I asked them to email it to me. Turns out I was right. Here's what happened. It starts off with the same carnival theme with distorted voices. The intro was spotted with giant flashes. After the original intro would play, it went straight to Happy Appy dying from an unknown disease. When he talked, his lips perfectly synced in with, "They're going to take me away!" And then it shot to one of the 5-year-olds. He was trying to cry because Happy Appy was dying, but he didn't cry tears, he cried blood. No joking. I then played sad piano songs after this kid with a high-pitched voice said, "They're going to take me away!" It then showed Happy Appy coughing out blood. He went to a surgery room. What follows was 1 whole hour of non-stop surgery. It was so horrifying, but yet so compelling. How did they make a good surgery scene with just puppets? After that, Happy was seen in a wheelchair, and the children asked, "Are you okay? Are you better?" Happy Appy said, "Yes, my nice friends," and gave them a big hug. After that, it faded to a title that said 3 months later, and it started to fade into the second part that I watched of the TV movie, but it was cut. July 26, 2011. Today, I went to a yard sale and saw a VHS called HA Bonus Features. I bought it for a pretty cheap price, for 50 cents. After that, I decided to play it. Unfortunately, it was screwed up because it made really weird alien-like sounds. It made 5 whooshes and a weird noise. I decided to decode it, and after 2 hours of decoding, I heard, "Don't trust Happy Appy. He will murder you. He's a killer. Never trust him." Could that have been a kid trying to warn us about Happy Appy?